This is a cool video game and now the largest MegaDrive game ever made, but is its size justified? I am Goaty_ and I'm going to tell you there is something more important that should have fit in. I've been streaming MegaDrive games to a Twitch audience since 2014 now, and I love to showcase and support the modern scene for my favorite system. Demons of Asteborg is one of the most anticipated MegaDrive games as far as the modern scene goes. Because of this, I had some expectations going into this game. Now, where these met? No, I'm not gonna pull a watch until the end of the video to find out on you. I'll tell you right away I was disappointed with the game. However, at times my expectations were also blown away. What does that mean? Watch until the end of the video to find out. We'll start with the bad stuff and end on a good note, so just take this as a honest review because I want these devs and the MegaDrive scene to thrive even more. When I first played this, I was disappointed. I expected a game with satisfying action, instead I got this. Why am I making the sound effects myself? Because there are almost none, and those that are there are either unsatisfying or barely audible. This is no sound effect. This, no sound effect. How big is this game again? This is the largest MegaDrive game ever made. No sound effects. Now, on top of that, the mixing is pretty bad and inconsistent, so the sound effects are drowned out half of the time. Asteborg has lots of cool stuff, I'll show it later, but now it's a good time to say the soundtrack might just be my favorite of them. The songs never get old, even when most levels are too long. I mean, 30 or even 20 minutes is too much for a single stage. In a linear game like this, I mean, it's not like it actually is, like that buzzword they used in the marketing. The music is a work of Jacob Altman and Roland Derulo, a fellow Italian, and it just pumps you up. It's that good. There's also a number of references, some more obvious than other ones, and I personally love to find out about this stuff in game music. So, leave a comment if you find any other, or if something like this from another game comes to mind, because I love that. The soundtrack isn't the only thing taking massive inspiration though, and here's where maybe I start caring more, and I would like to see more originality. I appreciate tributes and references, but this whole Castlevania thing here in the castle stage might be too heavy-handed, especially with the Medusa heads in the same room and platform layouts. I mean, this is one way of getting half of the buzzword done. In the same stage, you also have to go up this tower, which makes me feel like I'm gonna bash Pete's ass. I wouldn't mind the Mickey Mania Tech demo copy, but you have to go through it 3 times in a short amount of time. But a game like this can only be as good as its bosses, and Demons of Asteborg has cool ones. It even has mid-bosses. Most of the sprites look good and are well animated. For some of the attacks though, stuff like this happens. The screen freezing here is not your video or my computer. I don't know if this was intentional, but it breaks the pace and it's annoying to look at. See where I'm going with this? Inconsistent levels of quality. Sprite animations are beautiful, but some effects look a bit rough when put up against the sprites. When we're looking at this boss, let me tell you about screen shake. Screen shake. It's bad. I'm not a fan at all. In fact, it physically takes a toll on my eyes. Please don't have constant screen shake in your games if you can't have an option to turn it off. This gave me severe eye strain. There's also an absurd amount of flashing and physically annoying blinking in this game. The bosses have it good though. Those are enjoyable. What I didn't enjoy is the levels, for the most part. While initially pinpointing it down to bad level design, I had a bit of a deeper introspection to realize why exactly I didn't enjoy the first half of the stages. I'll tell you in a bit how it gets good later, and it just blows my mind how I can get so bored for so much and then get excited. Again, very inconsistent. It's not that there is something bad or wrong with the level design in this game. Sure, sometimes after giving a fragment of memory to the ghost, there's not enough direction to know where to go next. So after feeling confused for a bit, you wanna know what I did to find a way? You wanna know? I found it helps to die to see where the game puts you. Alright, good. Now I know where to go. Let me just see what that guy needed to remember. Oh, yeah. Well, you don't wanna forget about that. It's more of a question of what are you doing, and is it fun? While the level design is still very bland for the first 5 stages, It wouldn't have been much of a problem if I was actually having fun during them. Stay with me on this one. What are you doing? You're killing enemies, everything looks good and controls nicely, but there is no feedback whatsoever. There is no satisfying audio feedback for hitting an enemy, even when you can actually hear the sound effects over the loud music. I found myself skipping every screen with monsters, save for those where this text appears, because you just have to kill them. So, combat aside, we got puzzles to do, but they all made me feel like I was a child being tested for brain damage. Get flame, burn wall, light torch, then use flame to kill boss. This is just one stage, but it's a template for most of the game, so I ask again, what are you doing and is it fun? This reminded me of my biggest disappointment when I got my most anticipated game of all times, Monster Boy. It ended up being a puzzle game. That's not what I paid for. You get these spells that you can only use for that one stage, and while there's nothing wrong per se with that, that's the opposite of what you can expect from the Metroidvania marketing term. The prominent feature of the game are the puzzles, and those are way too easy because they all feel like the first puzzles you would solve with each spell if you were in an actual Metroidvania game and got to keep your power-ups through a larger interconnected map. This game's got an identity crisis. Is this a puzzle game? Is it a platformer? Is it an action game? No, wait, it's Flappy! No, wait! It's Among Us! Demons of Asteborg shines in none of these areas, and while the platforming is okay, the puzzles are just a time sink, and you're not gonna remember this game for its combat. Now, a game doesn't actually need to shine in any of those areas to be fun. Remember how I said this game was inconsistent? All of the boredom suddenly dissipates once you get to the 6th stage, the cave. Finally, your gimmick is more action-oriented. There's stuff happening behind every corner. I don't care if it's rough and undefined, just give me the fun. You get to roll this guy forward, I'll take it. Awesome, what's next? Minecraft section? Oh, cool, what's next? You possess a little spider blob, possess a bat, you possess a mole, you possess a demon ball, you possess a giant hand so that you can punch yourself in the face. Amazing. More stuff just happened here in this stage than in the rest of the game so far. And it keeps that up. The following stage, the mountains, got good platforming and pacing, and in the final stages there's just so much stuff happening that it doesn't matter if the walls randomly kill you or the spikes have cheap hitboxes. It's fun, because stuff is happening, stuff's going down. What are you doing, and is it fun? If the answer to what are you doing is changing often, then the one to is it fun is probably yes, unless the inevitable shortcomings prevent you from enjoying that. And I can perfectly enjoy the latter half of Demons of Asteborg, so I got a level select card for the next time. You put the Konami code here. You're welcome. So we're going backwards like a human centipede barf here, taking a note out of Demons of Asteborg's book. The packaging. It's good. The cover art was made by Louis Martins, who's also commissioned with Tanglewood's cover art and Paprium. While I don't think there's anything wrong or bad with his style, I'm not a fan of his gloomy digital look. It doesn't fit with the old games. I like stuff like Xenocrisis' cover art or 16-bit rhythm blend. Hey, but art is art. I'm just saying it doesn't give me a MegaDrive or retro vibe. There's an alternate Pulse-style cover art if you flip it, but it's not as good. They went with the MegaDrive logo and branding on this one. That's risky, at least to some degree, but I don't expect Sega to pull a Nintendo on any of these good devs. I have this label here which shows care for the community's concerns, but speaking of labels, this shiny one on the cartridge from my experience isn't as good as the standard non-reflective one. You know where I've seen these? Sunsoft's Japanese MegaDrive packaging. These are nice and small, but they're also cheaper. Less colors in the manuals and the labels, they all start peeling off. Another thing in this game that could have easily been better is the writing. The game supports 6 languages or something, but the English one's got grammar errors, missing punctuation, and looks like it was never proofread. Dialogue is too much anyway, it's not like you get enough emotionally invested to care that much. Less is more. You can tell the game was originally meant to be of larger scale, with actual Metroidvania elements and multiple playable characters, something that was reduced to a character's witcheroni in the last 2 stages, which is still amazing and enough. My favorite thing about the story there is how this is all the main character's fault. You see, in his backstory, he goes to avenge his mom, but actually frees the villain. Then his master comes in and is like, "No, Garrett, what the did you do? No, you There's a cemetery screen here with the people who backed the game on Kickstarter at a higher tier. See, this is more of a reminder about the fact that you up, Gareth! Now the Kickstarter backers are dead too! I would love to see another MegaDrive game by Neofid Studios after this. I'm glad to see Demons of Asteborg getting good reviews on Steam, and I wished it to sell more. I hope they will make another game, even in the same genre, but with more consistent level design, a bit more originality, and perhaps a less ambitious initial plan. Because when you plan too much around features and flavor, rather than substance, you risk ending up like this game.